Hello, welcome once again. This is Samuel Ambrose Onen. Happy birthday to you. I know it could be your happy birthday today or yesterday, might have been your birthday, or you are due to have your birthday soon. Wherever you are, happy birthday. I know some of you may be asking, such a question as why is it that this tutor Samuel Ambrose Onen is playing guitar about the happy birthday while lecturing? If you have that question in your mind, well done. It's a very good question, and I have the answer for you. We came to exist from somewhere, and we are somewhere right now, and we will be somewhere, and wherever we'll be will always be represented by a point. Can you believe that? Well, there's a branch in mathematics that I learned while at school, and it's called geometry, which is about the study of shapes, surfaces, points, lines with their relationships and the properties that they have. I learned something very special from geometry, that everything begins from a point and everything ends up at a point. That's why I was singing this birthday song, because we we were originated from somewhere, and we will end up at some point somewhere. And that, my friend, gave me the idea of storage to make sense. For example, when you ask yourself, like, from the point of instantiation when we came to exist up to the point, perhaps when you know, we come to disappear, during that point in between, where will we be? Will we be somewhere like in a store, or will we be somewhere enclosed by the time that we came to exist and the time that we will not exist? Does it make sense to you? I know it may not make sense. It's a deep question, deep analysis. But look at yourself, like when when we came to exist at the point of conception, we stay in the womb. That womb is like a storage, and our parents give birth to us. So they will become like our folder, and we are like their files. And then the process continues. When we give birth to another person, that person will become our file, and we will become their folders, and it continues like that. So, my friend, that is the reason why I came up with this idea, to try to mimic uh, some situation in order to make sense of storage. So that's why I like geometry, because I learned that, you know, everything, everything we do, or everything that we can think of, must begin or have begun from a point and ends up or has ended up at some point. That's geometry. Now the question is, where is the result of that thing kept? Where is it? This brings me to the idea of storage to make sense, my friend, which is not far from what the file is all about, you know? So when you look at file, File is like the final destination. It's like the final destination of the storage unit, because when you have a file, you cannot store any other things in it. We can only store other things in the folder, like the file cabinet keeps documents inside it. So the file with the document is the final destination, and those documents could be something which, something which is related to other things in some way. So those ones which are closely related are put together to form a file. And another group which are not related, maybe with the current group, can be put in another file. And all of them can be bound together and put in the folder. And that makes up this big, big, big storage, and we call it directories, you know. So file is a distinctive and destinative unit for storage related, or a single unit of data. You know, get it right. A distinctive and destinative unit of storing related data, or a single unit of data. And related units of data are stored separate as different files in the folder. So folder stores and organizes files. When you have a folder, it can have many files in it, and other folders can be inside that folder as well. And the folders which are inside the folders can be inside another folder that is called directory. So directory is like the root, is like the grandparent, our grandparents, yeah? And then our parents could be like another folder. And you and me can be like the file existing inside the folder, which exists inside the directory. So directory organizes and structures folders to manage files. Directory is the folder, yeah, is the holder of both the file and the folders from the root of the system storage. And that is the definition of directory, my friend. For example, in our system, we have C drive. That C drive will be like the root directory. And when you put colon backslash, you can put another folder there. That's another directory, but it's a subdirectory. It's not like the main one. The main one is our C. And then inside folder 1, we can have another folder, which is folder 2. And that is another subdirectory inside the sub, which is inside the main directory. And then inside the subdirectory, we can have another folder, which is the final directory. And that final directory will contain the file that we may need. My friend, this is the reason why I was playing the birthday song. Because we we came from our parents, and then we give birth to other children. So we eventually become like we are folder of our children, and our children become folder of their children, and their children become folders of their children, like that. And our grandparents will be like our directories. Happy birthday. So that is the reason why I played that song. And that is the definition of files and their differences: files, folders, and directories. So think of directories like our grandfather, and folders are like our parents, our immediate parents, and then we, the children, are like the files. So inside the file, you cannot create another file or directory. You can only put the file inside the folder, and folder can only sit inside another folder, and folders can sit inside a huge folder, which in this case will be our directory. So, for example, the word anything like any um, file is a destination, so it does not hold any other files or folders, but you know it it just contains data produced in a given format distinguished by the file extensions. For example, we can have like Word document txt text that's for text document, Word document doc for Word document, pdf for PDF file, and I've said for the text already, and we may have some execution file, program file, which ends with the extension exe. So that is the setting, my friend, for the folders, files, and directories. So thank you for viewing. I will see you next in the next video where we will see more about this file. But in the meantime, let us see the reason why we need these files and the types of files. Why do we want to know their systems? So knowing the files, their types, or the system of files is very, very crucial in understanding or coming to terms with the storage system, because that will enable us to manage our files. And managing our files now like part of our life. Nowadays, we live in a digital world and we cannot live just like that. We need to find a way of managing ourselves productively, and that can only be done and achieved by the files or the file systems. In fact, everything that is done digitally must be kept somewhere, and that somewhere could either be a folder, could either be files, which altogether will be in some kind of directories. Even the entire data in the internet is there in the directories. Can you believe that? That's how powerful files, folders, and directories are. So thank you for viewing. Happy learning.